You're watching the All-American Racing League on the Sim World Racing Network.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Daytona Beach, Florida, home of tonight's event for the All-American Racing League Cup Series. My name is Nathan Christensen. So glad you could join us here on the Sim World Racing Network. Tonight we got the 2025 Duel at Daytona, so that's the starting lineup for next week's Daytona 500. Again, so glad you could join us here from Daytona Beach. Happy to be along here on Tuesday, February the 6th, I believe is the date today. Cars on track for practice already with about 8.5 minutes to go in the practice session for the Cup Series drivers here at Daytona. You see on your screen Officer Lerfano there in that number 8 LSPD machine. Right behind him, that's Josh Hetrick in his number 25. And then behind him, that is Rodney Uberpacker in that number 6 machine, putting down some laps here, getting the final touches on their setup for tonight's qualifying and duel from Daytona. A couple important pieces of information tonight. Time trials, single car time trials like every other week will get started the program tonight. Fastest of your 2 laps will count towards your starting position. The key, though, is the top 2 cars, the first and second place drivers, at the end of single car qualifying, lock themselves into the front row for next week's Daytona 500. Everyone else behind that, their starting position will be based on the results of the 48-lap duel at Daytona, which will be following directly after qualifying tonight. So a bit of a double event on the schedule here tonight. So we have qualifying as well as the duel at Daytona, 48-lap race to set positions 3 through the back of the field. Oh, a little close for comfort there, as looks like Lerfano got into the back of the Rodriguez machine. There you can see on the front straight right there, that is Johnny May in the Cheeto 69. New paint job for Johnny May this week. Cool looking car. Again, Rodney Uberpacker in that number 6, coming to us from Eugene, Oregon tonight. Also out on the track last year's pole sitter for this event, that is Tyrone Yo Jr., as he will look to repeat as the pole sitter for the 2025 edition of the Daytona 500 for the AARL Cup Series. Another car out there on track, that is the number 7 Sexy Machine. That's the Ford Mustang of Travis Juggles Rodriguez out of San Antonio, Texas. So just taking a look here at the 11 cars that have completed practice laps so far. Dave Hare, quickest so far with a 46.283. Second right now is Sean Horlander, Dave Lerfano, Tyrone Yo, and Curtis Sobrin round out that top 5. We're going to now take a look at a segment this year we call Hanging with Hillbilly, as Hillbilly will take us for a couple laps around this beautiful Daytona International Speedway.
What's up, race fans, and welcome to Daytona International Speedway. I am your driver for today, Hillbilly Dave, driver of the number 15 Los Santos Police Department car for Hillbilly Motorsports and Dirty Dave's Racing. But tonight, you're with the All-American Racing League. We are going to be qualifying for the Daytona 500. fast lap time is going to be important here. You'd like to sit on the front row because if you're first or second, then those positions will stay. Otherwise, you'll have to go to the qualifying race following the initial qualifying. So, and then try to race our way up through the field in order to get a good starting spot for the 500 next week. But I'm going to take you for a couple of laps around here to show you how one would go about qualifying here at Daytona. What's important here. So as I leave pit road, I want to carry enough speed, get up to speed as quickly as I possibly can without scrubbing off too much tire going through the turn here. You have to stay below the yellow line through 1 and 2 and exit safely at the cone. As you'll see, we'll come up on a blue cone. Try to accelerate a little harder there. Now I can get on track. So we're gonna get this thing a little bit close to the wall, but not too close, because if you get too close, there is a little bit of drag that you'll get as you get close to that wall. So we're staying feet off the wall, not inches here. Get her up into 5th gear, try to carry as much speed as I can down towards the tri-oval. Now, as I get into this point, I'm going to take her to the bottom by the start-finish line. Wrap this yellow line as much as I can without turning the steering wheel. Very important that we don't scrub any tire. The scrubbing tire is slowing your speed. I had a little more movement there than I would have liked, but you know, it's still okay. We're going to have a pretty decent lap here, I believe, for our lap 1 at Daytona. Every driver will go through this again, single car qualifying to get their initial lap time. The pole sitter and second place car is locked into their position for the 500. They will start 1 and 2. That was a pretty decent lap there. I think that was maybe a little bit faster than I was running last night. But then everyone else will have to race through the field. Now we are scoring points now for the qualifier race, so it's important to finish as high as you can there. Gonna finish up this second lap, but this has been a couple of laps. I had an actual full qualifying run here at the Daytona International Speedway, beautiful Daytona, Florida. Thank you for watching the All-American Racing League right here on the SimWorld Racing Network, and we will catch you next time. Take care.
Thanks a lot for that, Hillbilly. That was 2 laps around the Daytona International Speedway with Hanging with Hillbilly, a segment we hopefully can bring you every week here on the All-American Racing League Cup Series broadcast. Again, thanks for joining us here as we get set to go for Duel at Daytona for the 2025 season. We're going to set the starting lineup here for the 500 next week. Obviously, about a minute and 20 seconds left in qualifying. 2 cars still out on track making some practice laps. Again, Tyrone Yo, driver of the UPMC machine, that Ford Mustang out of York, Pennsylvania. Another car on track is new driver this year with the All-American driver of the 32. That was Michael Boulvert. He is making an attempt here at his first Daytona 500 with the All-American Racing League. So we'll keep an eye on him as this evening develops. Again, the fastest 2 cars will start on the front row next week. Decided on finishing positions from the Duel event, so keep an eye on that. A little later on tonight, 48 laps the distance, no cautions, no stages, but like Hillbilly mentioned in that clip earlier, there will be points on the line. So the finish of the Duel will pay essentially stage points. The winner of the Duel tonight will receive 10 points towards his points total, 987, all the way back to 10th position, receiving 1 point for their 10th place finish in the duels. So something to keep an eye on also at the end of this one, as we will have some drivers with some points out of this one heading to Daytona and the 500 next week. As the cars get the checkered flag, bringing the completion of practice. That means we will get set to go with qualifying here momentarily from Daytona. As again, so happy you could join us here. We'll be back on the air next Thursday evening as we will go 500 miles, 200 laps from the 2.5 mile Daytona International Speedway. Should be a great afternoon, evening of racing. Look forward to having you with us at that point. We are getting set to go with a couple cars already on track. The number 9, that is Sean Horlander. Again, another first-time competitor here with the All-American Racing League. Horlander out of Mount Washington, Kentucky. He is merging himself onto the back straightaway on lap number 1. The driver who took us around a couple laps earlier this evening, Dave Hillbilly Hara out of Charlotte, North Carolina, driving that number 15 LSPD police car. Josh Hetrick's driving the Capital Grams Collision, number 25 Camaro out of Elkhart, Iowa. Josh back with us, hopefully full-time here in the 2025 season after running a part-time season last year. And then we got the Busch Light number 1 car. That is Curtis Sobran out of Hudson, North Carolina. He is coming to a stop, so he will probably reset and try something else. Chris Essery, last week's front runner up until about a handful of laps to go, and he saw the lead get handed over to Dave Lurfano, and Essery were not able to recover and had an incident with a couple other cars coming to the victory, or coming to the finish line. Finished a little further down in the results than he would have liked, looking to bounce back and sit on the pole for the 500 here this evening. As we spoke about earlier, in the Miller Lite number 32, that is Michael Boulvert. And he is joining us for his first attempt at an All-American Racing League season, as the cars will complete their laps here momentarily. Looks like the first car has completed his first lap, so we'll bring that up there on the screen. So right now, 3 cars that is, have completed their first of 2 laps. Tyrone Yo currently quick with a 49.728. Boisvert with a 44.60. Joining me with a 49.944. Horlander and Hara also completing laps. There's Hetrick's first lap. Essery completes his first lap. Obviously the second lap usually quicker here at Daytona, so we'll keep an eye on that, see if they can improve on these positions. Again, Tyrone Yo defending pole sitter from this one last year, looking to repeat and start from the front next week if he can hold on to that position. Second lap's getting completed. We'll see if anyone is able to improve on their time. Doesn't look like much movement on the position board quite yet. Let's see if Boisvert can improve his. He does. He goes to 4th quick with a 49.778. Still a little bit off of the back of Tyrone Yo's 49.723. Just like that, though, Josh Hetrick goes to the top of the board. Right behind him, though, is Curtis Sobran, going to the top of the charts in that number 1 Busch Light machine. So Sobran now sitting on the top of the pylon, with Hetrick on the outside of the front row right now. Mike Kurtulak there in that 41 Moza Motorsports butt kicker car is in the 5th spot at the completion of his first lap. There it is there, that butt kicker machine headed through turns, I believe, 1 and 2 on his second lap. Curtis Sobran, though, working his way through 3 and 4 at this time. He will come down to the tri-oval and see if he can better his time of 49.680 to secure that pole position a little more in his favor. Down across the line. Goes a little bit quicker, but Dave Lurfano says not so quick there, my friend. I am going to go quicker than that. Is Dave Lurfano, Officer Lurfano, out of Poland, Maine, will go down with a 49.641 as he will jump to the top of the scoring pylon for Lurfano. on his first lap, so he will now work on his second lap halfway down the big long back straightaway here at Daytona. Other cars on track. The number 3, that is the Greg Robinson machine. He is just working his way up on his warm-up lap as he will exit the pit road and up on to the back straightaway. Car on track, the sexy number 7, that is Travis Rodriguez driving a Ford Mustang tonight. He will come around to complete his first of 2 laps to see where he will roll off tonight in the duel. So Lafano completes his second lap. Can't go any quicker, it looks like. So 49.641, the time of record for Lafano. Keep an eye here on the Rodriguez machine as he works his way down to complete his first of 2 laps this evening. Across the line he goes, see where he slots in on lap number 1. 6th quick for Travis, a 49.728, 49.728 for Travis, and he says 1 and done for that number 7 car. So the only car left on track and left to put a time lap on the board is the number 3 machine. Again, Gregory Robinson here in that beautiful number 3, working his way down through 3 and 4. Out of turn 4, we'll head towards the tri-oval and the start-finish line to see where he stops the clock on lap number 1. So far, so good for the Robinson number 3. At the line, he will stop the clock. 4th quick, 49.715, so a good first lap for Robinson. See if he can improve on that and try to lock himself into a front row starting spot for next week's event. Only one car not to take time yet this afternoon. That is the number 6 machine, Rodney Uber-Packer, out of Eugene, Oregon. Still not looking to be on the track, so he may be starting from the back of this duel here later this evening. But right now, Robinson heads down into turn number 3 and 4 on his second of 2 laps. Crosses the line, see if he can improve any on lap number 2, and he does. Greg Robinson goes to the pole for the number 3 with a 49.634. So Robinson jumps to the top of the scoring pylon, and he will now be on the pole as of right now for next week's 500 mile event. And the outside, though, Dave Lafano still up there in that number 8 machine. Curtis Sobrin sits in the 3rd position. Josh Hetricks, Chris Essery, Tyrone Yo, Travis Rodriguez, Michael Kurgelek, Sean Horlander, and Dave Harry, your top 10. Michael Bovair and Johnny May round out the 12 cars that have taken time here tonight for this one. So as with about 2 minutes left here in qualifying, we'll let the clock tick down, and we will be right back with the gridding and starting lineup for tonight's duel from Daytona, and hopefully we will be able to get a word with tonight's possible pole sitter Greg Robinson once we confirm that at the end of qualifying. Welcome back to Daytona. Just a couple of seconds left here in qualifying before the field gets staged and set to go 48 laps around this 2.5 mile super speedway. Cars will start to get gridded here momentarily. On pit road as the cars start to grid themselves. You can see there on pit road as we get set. So we'll take a quick look at the qualifying results here on screen. There they are. So Greg Robinson will go from the pole here next Thursday night in that number 3 car with a 49.634. Outside him will be Dave Lorfano, 6/1000ths of a second off the pole, and behind him Curtis Sobrin will roll out from third. We'll take a look at the starting lineup there on your screen as we filter through. So as I mentioned, Curtis Sobrin, Josh Hetricks will go from row number 2. Chris Esri, Tyrone Yo make up row number 3. Travis Rodriguez and Michael Kurgelek will go from row number 4. Row 5 will be Sean Horlander and Dave Hara. Row 6 will be Michael Bovair and Johnny May, and then Rodney Uberpacker will bring up the last row, starting in 13th tonight. So 13 cars, 48 laps. As we mentioned, the pole sitter, Greg Robinson, and the outside pole, the 8 car, that is Dave Lorfano. They have both locked themselves into front row starting spots for next Thursday's event. Now we'll go 48 laps. No cautions, no stage break cautions is what I'm going to say. There could be cautions for on-track incidents. But we will go 48 laps here from Daytona, and we will set positions 3 through the back half of the field once this one's completed. So we are excited to bring you this presentation here on the Sim World Racing Network. We get set to go as the field rolls through turns 3 and 4. 2 wide. 6.5 rows deep. 48 laps on the card for us tonight. Pace car will head to the safety of pit road. And the field under the control of Greg Robinson will roll into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is out, and we are racing at Daytona for the Duel at Daytona's to set the starting lineup for next week's Daytona 500 as the field stumbles and grumbles down into turn number 1 and 2. Turn 1 still too wide. They work up front. Robinson on the bottom. Sovereign and then Essery in that 3 cars. First 3 cars on the bottom row. Outside row looks like it's Lorfano, Hetricks, and Tyrone Yo here early in this one. Weebling and wobbling as the cars get up to speed as they head down the back straightaway. Good push from Sovereign. We'll get that inside row clear. 5 cars deep now clear of that outside row. Travis Rodriguez slips up to the top. He's going to bring Esri with him, although Esri will jump back down to the bottom, back in line behind Sovereign as they cross the start-finish line. Field will head back down into turns 1 and 2. A mini little breakaway there for the 3 and the 1. Sean Horlander in that number 9 having some blinking going on, but he is back on track there in that white and black number 9 machine as they head back down the back straightaway. It's still Robinson, Sovereign, Horlander, Boisvert, and there is Rodney Uberpacker in that number 6, the blue and white machine. Inside Essery and Travis Rodriguez this time through turns 3 and 4. The LSPD boys will pull that bottom line with them. You got Johnny May in the flamin' hot Cheeto 69 car out there on track also as they work back across the line to complete lap number 2. Single file are the first 5 cars, but as I say that, here comes a push from Esri and Rodriguez on the top. They're looking to close that gap down and get back up to the front with those leaders using that longer outside route here at Daytona. Back straightaway, so headed full head of steam for these guys as they head down towards turns 3 and 4. Turn number 4, they come down to the stripe, completing lap 3. Still going to be Robinson on the front of this one, in front of Sovereign, Horlander, and the 32 machine. But now the 4, the 7, the 25 forming up on that outside line to get a bit of a run going here, as now Esri's got himself back even in parallel with the 3rd place inside car of Horlander. Still all the cars right nose to tail as we work through the middle of the back straightaway down to turn 3. Ride on both can bring in these great shots of this great action here early in this one from Daytona. A lot of position changing going on. Everyone's being very patient here early in this one as there's still a long way to go as Horlander blinks away again, but comes back as quickly as he goes. Now it looks like Robinson and the 1 car move up to the top side to see if they can get Esri up to the back bumper. They sure can. That's going to open the door for Horlander, but as I say that, Robinson drops back down to the bottom to cut that run off. He's going to leave Sovereign high, dry, and handsome up there with the Esri 4, but that's a good push from the 4 car right through the middle of the back straightaway down to turn number 3. Fano and the Unit 8 machine making his way now to the outside. He's going to bring Hillbilly in that 15, the orange and black machine. That is Johnny May and the Flamin' Hot Cheetos forward as they head towards turn 1, 2, 1 and 2. 5 laps into this one. Got a new leader on top of the score. And that is the 1 at Curtis Sovereign, with the help of Chris S. into that top position. So they work back down to turns 3 and 4. Now S3 will drop to the bottom in front of Robinson. 15 draw up on the back of the flight number 1 machine. So S3 now looking to use the bottom to his advantage. But as I say that, Sovereign drops down. Two super trippers up top, making a move to the front there, as now the outside row being led by the PO Popo. That's the 8 and the 15 of Lefano and Hera. Those guys always strong at the plate tracks, looking for a good result here to start the season off. For the first time, a dual event will pay for points, so points will be awarded at the end of this one, basically awarding stage points for the finish of the race. And Johnny May will go for a ride. He tried to make a lane change. I don't think he was fully clear. What happened with caution is out on that one. So let's go see if we can see a replay. So we'll see Johnny May just get a bumper and then drift back up on track. And Greg Robinson will take that one. So we'll take one more look at that. Here we'll see Johnny May try to go from the outside to the inside. One comes right back up on the track with Robinson, who looked like he was trying to drop to the back, stay out of harm's way, and ended up right in a bad spot. So we'll take one more look at it here, as you'll see the move from the outside line to the inside, and just not clear of the Sovereign 1. So no real way to slow that car down, unfortunately. Robinson in the wrong place at the wrong time. Johnny comes back up onto the Speedway. So both of those cars, significant damage, I am sure. We'll have to bring that to the attention of their pit crew here this evening. But out front looks to be Unit 8 and 15 leading the way at the time of caution. So that'll put Fano and Hillbilly on the front of the field. If no one pits, they will have control of the restart or the front row for the restart here when we get set to go back going. Looks like though pit road should be open this time at a turn 4 as the field looks to be heading that direction. It looks like everyone headed down to pit road to get some service. Looking like a fuel only situation for these cars. First car off pit road looks to be the 15 though. It's Dave Harrell, the fastest off pit road, and he will look to be the control car when we get set to go back racing here momentarily. Robinson's still sitting in his pit box, couple laps down, so maybe didn't have that fast repair checked, and he will have to sit this one out and wait for the damage to be repaired. So it looks like it might be the end of the night for Greg Robinson. Fortunately for him, fast time in qualifying should mean a pole position for the race next week, so we'll keep an eye on that and see if he's able to make it back out to turn some laps here at the back part of this one. But for right now, sitting on pit road, having the crew go to work after an incident with Johnny May. Let's see if we can take one more look at that while we're still under caution. Change this up and go to that one. So Johnny May, you can see him try to make that move from the outside to the inside, following not the way those two want to start the 2025 season. Looks like Johnny May able to get that car fixed and continue under power, but not the same for Greg Robinson. Looking like he will be done for the evening. But the field has doubled up as it looks like we will get the one to go signal this time. At the start-finish line, the front row is going to be the 15 O'Hare, the 1 of Sovereign. Then we're going to have Lorfano and Horlander in row 2. We'll have, looks like Boisvert and Uber Packer in row number 3. Petrix and Kurgelek, easy for me to say, make up row number 4. Travis Rodriguez and Tyrone Yo in row 5. And then Johnny May and it looks like Chris Essery back on pit road here as we get set to go back racing. He's topping the fuel tank up as he continues off of pit road. So Essery will come back out and make up that final row with Johnny May as we get set for the restart. This evening. 10 laps complete when they get back around to the line. 38 to go in this one. Just a quick one tonight, 48 laps the distance. Set the field for the 500 next week. Obviously hoping to have more cars join us next week, just not everyone able to make it out for the duels this evening, so they will be joining the tail end of the field. So it's going to be the front row, which was locked in by qualifying. Then we'll have positions 3 through 13 set by the results of the duel, and then anyone else who is planning on joining us next Thursday night for the 500 will be slotted in at the tail end of this field for next week's 200 lap 500 mile event. So hope you can join us for that one. Second year for the All-American Racing League Daytona version, the All-American League Racing version of the Daytona 500. Last year's ended under caution on the third attempt of a green-white checker, and Dave Lorfano scored the win by the hair on his chinny chin at the time of caution. Dave Harra, though, right now is the control car as they roll down into the Geico restart zone. First car to fire will be that 15. Green lights go on, green flag goes down. We are back racing down towards turn 1 and 2. The pack stumbles and rumbles as we get back to racing. Looks like just similar to the first restart, the inside lane able to clear The outside road down the back straightaway. Still Lurfano and Hera. 2 and 1 as I read them backwards. That is Hera up front, getting a big push from his LSPD teammate. The Dirty Daves Racing number 8 and number 15 work their way out of turn 4 back towards the tri-oval. Looks like Robinson able to get back out and on the track. He's 2 laps down right now at this point, unfortunately, so hopefully maybe he can get a couple lucky dogs, get back in the middle of this one. But right now it's the Los Santos Police Department leading the way. There, Travis Rodriguez, Rodney Uberpacker in the 6 are the top 5. Josh Hetrick's there sliding in behind the 1 of Curtis Sovereign as they work back down the back straightaway, single file through this portion of the field. First through, I think that's about 8 there on your screen. They work down into turn 3 and 4. Hetrick will make a move on the outside of Sovereign this time through 3 and 4. See if he gets any help up there. No one seems to want to bite though, as he's going to be high and dry up there all on his own as they come down to complete lap number 12. Hetrix will drop back into the bottom groove, but now Curtis Sovereign says, I want to try it on my own. He's going to go to the top, see if he can get some help as the 41. That's Kurdzlek. Looks like he'll catch up to the back of the 1 car, give him a bump through turns 1 and 2, and they're going to work together down the back straightaway. See if we can get a second line forming here. Now as Rodriguez looks to the outside of the 32, but thinks better of it as he's going to tuck back in. No, he's going to hang it on the outside. He's going to get help, though, from the 25. So now we'll see if these two can make a move towards the front, as both the 41 and the 1 got split up now with Johnny May in between them, back on the bottom line. Noah Sovereign will go back to the top. He thinks better of that. Tucks back in behind Orlander. Kurdzlek, though, he says, I'm going to try it, see if we can get something going. Sovereign back up to the top as they work their way back down into turns 1 and 2. Still Hera, Lofano, Boisvert, Uberpacker, and Horlander, your top 5. First car trying to make that outside work. That's that Busch Light number 1. He's going to get blocked, though, by the 32 of Boisvert as they head down the back straight at a big bumping and shoving, as the 32 definitely not going as quick as the cars that were coming up on him. That's going to let that whole inside line slip right by and up into the top 5. Now we're going to have Uberpacker, Horlander, and Johnny May, the back half of the top 5. S3 and Tyrone Yo work the bottom side as they come back around out of the tri-oval to complete lap number 14 as we work back down to turn number 1 and 2. A little bit of a breakaway for the top 4 cars now. They got to develop the gap between them and the field behind them, as Johnny May lost the draft there off the back of the 9. He's got some help coming in the form of the 4 of Essery. Down the back straightaway, we watch the back part of the field 2 by 2 as they work their way down the long back straightaway. Sovereign give a big shove to Boisvert into turns number 3 and 4. See if they can close that gap and move that outside row back towards the front. 2 distinct groups here. One group of 4 on the inside, but they're getting chased down by the gaggle of cars looking to get back in this one from just a few cars back now. Turns 1 and 2 again. Now Sovereign looks to the inside of Boisvert. That's going to leave the 41 up as the second car behind the Boisvert machine. Now they bump, almost get into the wall, able to avoid that. That's going to get the momentum to that bottom line, as now the top side going the wrong way on a one-way street. Up front, though, Dave Hare, Dave Lafano continue to lead this one. Rodney Uberpacker now up to 3rd spot as Horlander went to the outside. See if he can make something work, but he's going to lose a spot to Sovereign out of turn 4. Down across the line, complete 16 of 48 here on this afternoon's evening's event. Now Essery back up to 5th and looking to make a move for 4th. He pitted that last extra time there as we were getting a white flag before we went back to green. Top side seems to be rolling again. Horlander looking to get on the back bumper of the 4 and see if they can make it work, but they are 3 cars up front, broken away a little bit with the pack developing behind them as they work back into turns 3 and 4. Now Horlander drops to the bottom. He's going to go around Essery. He's going to try to bring Johnny May and Curtis Sovereign with him. They are all able to clear that number 4 machine. Out of turn number 4, Down back through the trioval they go. Single file for the first part of this field. Things are starting to get a little wibbly wobbly, and Uberpacker will fall off below the yellow line. See if he's able to get back up without losing much ground. I don't think he's going to be able to do it, as he's probably lost the draft at this point, unfortunately for Uberpacker. He will have some work to do to keep in that draft and maybe get caught back up. But up front, it's still Dave Hare in the 15, the 8 of Dave Lerfano, the 9 of Horlander in that Moser Motorsports number 9, working their way through turns 3 and 4. Sauber and Johnny May now finally have closed that gap to the back of the Horlander machine as they work down the front straightaway. 18 cars working hard on the outside, seeing if they can make that line work. Not happening quite yet, although Essery and Rodriguez putting up a good fight there, trying to get even with the 9 of Horlander this time out of turn number 2. Looks like Hetrix may have lost the draft also, either that or he's going to give a hand. Jumping back to the Packer, but with 2 cars, I'm not sure they're going to be able to catch cars in the draft before the caution here in this one as they work back down the back straight. Nope, Troy out of the trial, down across the line. His 12th lap lead of the afternoon for Hera. Here as we work on lap number 20 of 48, so getting ever closer to the from Daytona. But don't count your chickens now. Here comes the Essery machine on the outside. Goes up the block. Gets a big push hard into the wall. This is not going to be good. It looks like a scramble of cars all over the place. Everyone able to continue, thankfully. Probably going to lose a bit of the draft. Back up. Ooh, Hera hard into the outside wall. That is not going to be good for that number 15 machine, as he has some serious damage now on that number 15. Flag after that contact. Let's take a look here again. Goes to make a block on the 4, wasn't exactly clear and still tried to do it, and then he got into the wall and almost shoved his teammate right down to the inside wall. Through the grass at the bus stop, able to get back up on the racetrack. No, he lost it getting back on the transition from this apron to the racetrack. Put him into the wall and is going to bring him down pit road for some repairs. That is going to hand the lead over on the top of the scoring pylon right now as they work their way through number 3 and 4. Another start-finish line as May gets a little bit loose off the front bumper of the number 1 as they head down to the line. We're going to complete lap 21. Across Horlander, Sauber, Johnny May, and Rodriguez on the outside. Kurzlek on the inside row looking to stay with cars down the back straightaway, trying to stay off until the passes. It's pretty tight out there though as we take a look from the through the end of the back straightaway. Kurzlek and Johnny May get together. Now Horlander and May get together and the caution is out. Sorry, that was on the front straightaway. The caution is out with some side-by-side contact resulting in the Horlander machine getting the worst of that one. At the time of caution, looks like Essery was the leader. Let's take another look at how that all played out here. So Kurzlek and Johnny May in the 69 got together, and then they just bouncing off each other. So we'll take a look here at the replay. Kurzlek comes down a little bit, not knowing that the 69 inside. And he makes some contact and just kind of pushes May down into the 1, into the 9, and the 7. Rodriguez unfortunately slip by on the bottom. So we are under caution here for the second time this afternoon. Chris Esri will be the leader of this one as the field works their way through turns 3 and 4 back down to the front straightaway. Looks like pit road should be open this time, so we'll see if anyone will come down to pit road and see if they will take any tires or fuel. We're going to take a quick step away for a quick second. We'll be right back and reset the field to go back to green flag racing after this. Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway. Tonight's track for the Duel at Daytona, the 2025 version of the Duel at Daytona, as we get set to try and set the starting lineup for next week's All-American Racing League Cup Series Daytona 500, second annual, we'll call it, 500-mile Daytona event for these guys, as we get set to see the 1-to-go signal, I'm thinking here, as they work their way out of the turn number 4 down through the tri-oval and get themselves in order. And we should be looking for a 1-to-go signal, get that field doubled back up at the completion of lap number 24. So the halfway point has come and gone. Next time we'll be racing and we'll have 23 to go to get us to the end of this one. The field will double up. Chris Esri, that is, on the inside row or on the inside of the front row there in that number 4, the 9. Sean Horlander in the second position. Row 2 will be Michael Kurdzlak and Curtis Sovereign. Row 3 is Tyrone Yo and Michael Boisvert. And then you have the Uber Packer number 6, the Lerfano unit number 8, and then Hetrix and Hera will make up that next row, although Dave Hera looks like he was the lucky dog, so it looks like he might be back on the lead lap if he can catch back up. He's got, oh no, there he is. One car is just trying to get caught up. Who is that? Oh, that is Juggles Rodriguez trying to get back to the tail end of the field in this one after having to get some repairs done by the pit crew. I think so a good break in this for that Hera 15, able to get to pit road after his accident earlier. Lose one lap, but get it back to the Lucky Dog. But also good turn of events here for the Uber Packer 6 and the 25 of Hetrix, who had both seemingly lost the draft a few laps before that caution. So they are right back in this one. The number 6, that is the Uber Packer machine on your screen, and right behind him in the capital signs, Graham Collision 25 Camaro, that is Josh Hetrix. They're in that beautiful red, black, and silver numbered machine. Rolling into the restart zone shortly, that will be the job of Chris Esri. He is the command car. First car to fire once they get to that restart zone. He will lead the way here. As I mentioned, it should be about 23 laps to go. Looking at for the end of this one here, we'll see if we can keep it clean and green with just 23 laps to go. Green flag is out and we are back racing here as Esther gets to jump in front on that inside road. He's going to try to run first left and he's taking over the road. Staying with him. Orlando with a big push from Sovereign there on the outside. They're not going to let those guys get too far. Here knows they get to the back straight away. Out of turn 2, the field works this time down the back straightaway. Orlando almost back even with S3 as they head into turn number 3 and 4. So 2, 4, or 5 rows deep. The field works here in this one. Past the halfway point as we look to the end of this one. Their way back down to the tri-oval. Looks like Sean Orlando is going to lead the lap with help, that is from the Sovereign number 1. They make their way down to turns 1 and 2. Roaring and through turn number 2. They hit the back straightaway and will get another file all the way down the back straightaway. See the amount of lateral movement these cars have left to right, even when they're trying to go in a straight line with all that rustling, bumpy air that's all around them. Esri will work his way now back to the top of the scoring pylon. They go through the tri-oval this time, complete lap number 27. Kurzelek up into a good spot there. As you can see, he is now that inside second place car. He's now door-to-door with Horlander into turn 1. Tyrone Yo, Curtis Sovereign, Uber Packer, Boisvert, Dave Lerfano, Josh Hetricks, and Dave Hera all in this one still. There is Travis Rodriguez. Also, don't count him out. Looks like Johnny May on pit road after a bit of an issue there on that last caution, having to get the damage fixed by the picker. So looks like Johnny May may be done for the night here in this one. Tri-oval. Now Horlander on the top side. Looks like he is going to have the advantage again at the line, able to lead that lap as they work their way back down the front straightaway into turn 1 and 2. Down to the start-finish line, 2 by 2. 4 or 5 rows deep that time at the start-finish line. Still pretty fast. Tyrone Yo sitting right back there in third position on the inside. Third on the inside row. Third on that outside row, that is the 32. I didn't know if he was trying to switch lanes or just got a little extra shove and Sovereign forced him down under control, though. That's going to give the momentum, though, to that bottom line. Esri and Kurzelek will look to get an advantage here as they work their way back through the tri-oval. 3 laps complete in this one. 18 to go that time across the line. Pushes coming from that outside row, as they continue to work their way through turns 1 and 2 on the exit to the back straightaway. Horlander, Sovereign now will make the move to the bottom. They'll bring Boisvert down with them. That's going to leave the outside to the Dave Lerfano and Dave Hare looking to make hay on the top side as everyone's now moved to the bottom and cut the Esri machine off. So now Horlander, Sovereign, Boisvert, Esri on the bottom. The first car second, 5th Kurzlek and the lead of Lafano. They slid after broken away a little while the second group kind of sorts itself out and gets the pushes in order. Now we have S3 being pushed by a team of AARL drivers. That's Lafano, Hillbilly, 7 Machine, Travis Rodriguez, but here comes Kurzlek back on the bottom. Push from Tyrone Yo on the exit of turn number 2, or sorry, number 4 that is. Back down across the line, complete 32 of 48, 16 laps to go this strike. From the boot cam, you can see everyone working to keep their momentum and keep this cars headed in the right direction. Again, the top 3 broken away a little. The second group can't seem to get itself sorted out to make a push to get back up beside those front 3. Kurzlek there on the bottom, making sure that S3 doesn't get too far away from him. Looks like Lafano and S3 can't get those cars hooked up properly to get a good push. Now Kurzlek will jump to the outside in front of S3. That's going to leave Tyrone Yo and Rodney Uberpacker, I apologize, on the inside. Now S3 will get a run on the Kurzlek 41 and head back down to the bottom in front of Tyrone Yo. He's going to have to get out of the gas and not run into the back of 4. That's going to put Kurzlek down in front of their Lafano and Hera on the top side. They look to get the momentum going back again. As too many cars changing lanes has really slowed this second group of cars down. Now S3 wants back up into the top. He's going to get a big shove from the 41 down into the, just past the bus stop on the back straightaway into turn 3 and 4. Field works its way back out of turn number 4 down to the start finish line. Top side starting to get some momentum and headed in the right direction as now they've caught up to the 3rd place driver. That's the 32 of Boisvert as they work their way down into turn 1. Big run coming from the top side into turn 1 and 2. S3 now even with Sovereign in second, but the bottom side always a little quicker through the corners, making that shorter way around the speedway. But the top side always seems to be the fast side down the straightaways. As I say that, S3, Kurzlek, and Lafano make a bid here to get parallel and even up with the front row of the front of the field, as they work through turns 3. Things are getting a little bit pushy and shovey here with only 14 laps to go in this one. As they work their way now out of turn 4, looks like S3 is going to be able to maybe clear that Horlander 9. Gets a bump from the 41. That's going to put this lap in control of the 4 car. S3 will lead lap number 35, sorry. Second race will be a little bit rusty. We'll get it figured out. Now they'll go to the bottom. They'll cut Horlander's run off. They'll move Lafano back to the top and out. First car in that outside row. He's got Hera and Hetrix behind him. Big run comes from Horlander, who bumps the 41, who bumps the 4. Everyone's able to keep it headed in the right direction, but things are probably going to pick up here momentarily as we get close to that 10 to go mark where drivers seem to lose their minds and things get a little crazier. It's pretty calm, cool, calm and collective. First 36 laps of this one as we work lap 37 right here with 12 to go. Trouble on the front straight. Yellow is out. We got a wreck between Hetrix, Sovereign. Looks like Travis was out. Travis was not in it. Robbie Uberpacker might have been involved. We'll just see if we can get ourselves a replay of this for just 1 second here. We'll dial up the replay machine. inside of Hetrick's. Down a little bit, coming down across, got the back of the one, got the inside of the 6. The one's able to continue from what I can see in the video, but we're going to have a caution. Field here, as you can see. Hetrick's moved down about a quarter of a car length away there, and nowhere to go for the cars underneath them. Got a green light caution for the 3rd time tonight with 10 laps to go from Daytona. Boisvert will head to pit road. Looks like Sovereign will be right behind him as he has some damage on the mechanical black flag. Also, that'll bring him to the attention of his pit crew. He should have a fast repair left to get him to the end to get that car fixed. Having some trouble. Looks like he's getting a push though from the Robinson 3, so maybe the engine not fired on that one car. We'll keep an eye on it here, see if he can make it to pit road without losing a lap, as the field though quickly approaching behind them. Up front though, Essery leads the way at the time of caution by a fraction of a second over Dave Lofano, Mike Kurzek, Sean Horlander, and Dave Hara, your top 5 at the time the caution came out. So it looks like, unfortunately, Curtis will head 1 lap down to the field, is not able to make it onto pit road in time. Field will stay out and roll around for a couple more laps here as we get this event finished up here when we come back after this break. Welcome back to the Sim World Racing Network and the presentation of the All-American Racing League Cup Series. The Duel at Daytona tonight to set the starting lineup for next week's 500-mile AARL Daytona 500. Looks like the one to go signal given to the field as the lights are off on the pace track. Front row on the restart looks like it's going to be the freaky fast 4. Chris Essery outside him will be the number 8 with Dave Lofano. Mike Kurzek and Sean Horlander make up row number 2. Dave Hara and Tyrone Yo will be the 3rd row. Looks like we have Hetrick and Uber Packer in row number 4. Then Travis Rodriguez and Michael Boisvert will make up that 5th row. A couple cars still on pit road. Oh, I lied. Sovereign was able to make it back out and join the field. I think he is going to be 1 lap down. Unfortunately, he is. So Sovereign 1 lap down to the field at this point. He's that blue and white Busch Light machine there. Obviously got the short end of the stick in that last caution, as he was the one who had to go to the pits for repairs. So the field will double up and head towards the Geico restart zone. And again, Chris Esri, the control car outside him. That is Lofano in the number 8 LSPD machine. Officer Lofano, as he wants us to refer to him as. Kurgelek, Horlander, Officer Hera, and Tyrone Yo, Hetrix and Uberpacker, Rodriguez and Sobrin, and then Michael there in that number 32 machine will bring up the tail end of the 11 cars remaining on track. Greg Robinson actually out there also should join the back of the picture here, 4 laps down, unfortunately, after an incident early in this one with it was Johnny May he was involved with. Into the restart zone, green flag back out. We are back racing, 8 laps to go. See if we can get this done without any overtime. Field roars and swerves down into turn number 1 and 2. The inside obviously gets a good run there at the start of this one. Curves up all over that bumper. That number 4, the 15, a hair looking to move to the outside. He's lost his own from his teammate. That is 8 of Lofano going the wrong way. He slips back in about 6th. Tyrone Yo on the outside. Now Hera will take Juggles, Rodriguez, and Hetrick to the outside with him. That leaves 3 on the outside, 2 on the inside. We look down the final part of that 3. Things are ramping up to get interesting here in this late stages of this one. As they come back down across the line, we'll have 6 to go this time, as they will complete lap number 42. 42 in the book, 6 to go. Out front, it is Hera and Hetrix. Now Hetrick will get to the inside. He's going to get a big push from Esri when he gets there. That's going to move the inside row up a little further. Outside, though, not too hurt by that, as they got 4 cars developing. The 15, 7, and 8, respectively, in that outside row. They race back up around the top there as they get even with the leader down into turn number 3. To turn 3 and 4 they go. Now Hera will have to give up some ground, usually from that outside lane, as a little slower through the corners. Hetrix will get a good run off a bump from Esri on the exit of turn 4, though. Rodriguez right on the back bumper, shoving hard on the 15 of Hera as they work back down to the line. 5 to go this time here from Daytona. Side by side drag race into turn number 1 and 2. Still going to be Hetrick on the bottom, has the momentum and that bottom side shorter route around this speedway, as though Hera will pull even on the start of the back straightaway. The bumping begins as they head in a straight line now. Hopefully everyone can keep it pointed in the right direction. Now that outside line, good run. It's going to have at least 2 cars clear the inside. Will they get to the bottom? No, they're going to stay up top now as Hetrix and Esri get that run back on the bottom. That freaky fast. Jimmy Johns, number 4. A great pusher, it seems, here late in this one. A little bit of trouble for that outside row as Hera lost a little bit of help now from Rodriguez, as he has lost that back bumper. That's going to give a big advantage to the inside row now, as the first 2 cars, maybe the first 3, will be able to get by Hera as they head down in turn 1 and 2. All that hard work by the outside row goes for naught now, as the inside 4 cars clear. As Dave Lafana says, "You ain't going anywhere up there. I'm going to jump to the bottom." So everyone now in the bottom lane except for the 15 and the 7. They're seeing if they can make it work there on the top side, but it's only going to let those first 4 cars open a bit of a gap in front of Uberpacker there in 5th. Hetrick continues to lead the way. Esri, Kurgelek, Horlander, Uberpacker, and now that is the 15 of Hera getting back in line behind him in 6th. Oh, sorry, that is Lofano. Hera's that outside car in that number 15. Remember, Sovereign 1 lap down at this point, so not a factor in the finish of this one, just looking to hold on to that 10th and final position to get that 1 point towards the season standings. Up front, though, Hetrix has a bit of a gap, not essentially a good thing, as now Esri is going to get a run right back up to the back bumper of the 25. That was 3 to go at the line. Here come the Super Troopers on the outside. Dirty Dave Racing pushing hard on the outside, being led by Lofano, then Hera. Sovereign looking to see if he can close the gap to give those guys a hand on the outside row to close in on Hetrick, Esri, and Kurgelek. Nothing happening that time through 3 and 4. Hetrick continues to lead here over the 4, 41, and 9. Now the 8 and the 15 get that run on the top side on the straightaway again. Not enough to close the gap to 4th as they're running nose to nose with the 5th place car as they head back down to turn 1. 2 to go. S3 still in 2nd behind Hetrick. He's going to drop off that back bumper a little bit to get a run on the exit of turn 2. When is the time to make the move here as we got 1.5 laps to go at Daytona? Ooh, almost gets a bad push. He's going to push Josh right down to the grass, and that's going to force Esri to the outside. Now he's going to block the Super Troopers on the outside, see if they're able to clear and move down. That's going to move Esri clear out to the lead, but now Lurfano looks to go to the inside. He's not going to get it done as the 4 is going to block that. The 25 and the 41 get side-by-side contact there. We come to the white flag. It looks like Lurfano's going to be on the outside of this one. He's going to bring Hera with them around the top of Esri. It's going to looks like it's going to be an LSPD Super Trooper shootout here on the final lap of this one here at the Duels at Daytona. Up front, it continues to be Lurfano and Hera. Hetrick gets a big run on the back of the 4 car a little further back. They're going to be nose to tail and get a great run down that back straight to see if they're able to close on the Super Troopers. They're going to get that run onto the top side. This is going to be exciting here as we work our way through turns 3 and 4 now. Now Josh drops in between the LSPD machines. That's going to leave Esri high and dry on the outside. See if he can push Lurfano to the win. Coming down to the line, a little bumping and banging. It's going to be... Oh, I think Lurfano won it. Sideways at the line, I think Dave Lurfano picked up the victory. What a finish to that one. We're going to take another look as they come down to the checkered flag. A lot of bumping, a lot of shoving. 1 car below the line gets back up. Looks like Lurfano's going to get across the line in first and pick up his 2nd win in a row on the season here with the AARL cars. Dave Lurfano wins by the hair on his chinny chin chin. Looks like Esri in 2nd place, followed by Hetrix in 3rd. So we're going to step away for a second, see if we can get some interviews for you with the top 3 drivers. We'll be right back once I get that all dialed up. Hey Josh, it's Nathan up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Nate.
A big 3rd place finish. Obviously, you had the lead going down the back straightaway with 2 to go, but a bit of a shove from Esri got you out of shape, but able to recoup and get a 3rd place. So that's got to be a strong finish to start the year for you.
Yeah, it feels good. Wish we had a little bit more there, but I was able to recollect and just kind of make a little run, and we'll take a 3rd place getting out of here.
Looking forward to coming back. Obviously, 3rd place should start you, I think, 4th next week because Lurfano's locked into the front row. Esri will be 2nd, so you'll be 4th starting the 500 next week. So good spot to start from.
Yeah, it feels good. See what we can do with this Capital Science Company, Grand Collision, or Lawn Care Chevrolet, and hope for a good season for the races that we're here for.
All right, Josh, thanks a lot. Hopefully we can talk to you again next week here on a podium position.
I'd love it, bud. Thank you.
That was Josh Hetrick in that number 25 machine. We're going to get to see if we can get a word with runner-up, the number 4 of Chris Essery. Hey, Chris, it's Nathan up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Congrats, 2nd place here in the duels tonight. That's going to lock you into the 3rd place starting position for next week, so that's got to be a good place to start going into the 500.
Yeah, feel pretty good going in there. That was a fun race.
Pretty tight there coming to the end. Obviously, all got together crossing the line, but made for an exciting finish, and hopefully we can talk to you after next week's race in the podium position.
Yes, sir.
All right, that was Chris Essery, tonight's 2nd place finisher, and now we'll see if we can get a word with tonight's winner, Officer Lurfano. Officer Lafano, it's Nathan in the booth. You got copy?
Hey, Nathan, I got you.
2 for 2 in 2025. Good way to start the year. Got to be happy with that. Looking to defend that 500 victory you earned last year.
Yeah, it's been a good start so far. 500 is going to be a different story. It's about surviving for the most of about 90%, and then hopefully I can be in position like I was here tonight to try to make a move. But crazy finish coming across a couple of us backwards at the line, so kind of got lucky to snag one there.
Hey, it doesn't matter how you cross the line as long as you're the first one to do it. So congrats on that, and hopefully we can keep talking to you next week at the end of the 500 with looking for another win and even a podium position.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Nathan.
Have a great night, Dave.
You too.
All right, that was tonight's winner, Dave Lurfano here. Picks up his second win in a row in 2 events for the 2025 season for the All-American Racing League Cup Series. We're going to take a quick look at the finishing results. Obviously, a very close finish tonight, and we'll see what the results and the margin of victory looks like here. We'll pull it up. So there is the winner. That's Dave Lurfano in that number 8 machine. Chris Essery coming home second by 3 100ths of a second. Followed right behind him is the 25 of Josh Hetrick's. Dave Hara coming home in 4th, not even a 10th of a second behind those two up front. Then you got Michael Kurdzlek in 5th, Sean Horlander, Tyrone Yo Jr., Rodney Uberpacker, Travis Rodriguez, and Curtis Sobran round out the top 10. Greg Robinson, Michael Boisvert, and Johnny May will finish this one 1 or more laps down. So one thing to keep in mind with Robinson is he will be the pole sitter for next week's event. That is going to be his first pole for a 500 here with the All-American Racing Leagues. We'll see if we can actually get a quick word with Greg here. 1 second. Hey Greg, it's Nathan up in the booth. You got copy?
Yeah.
Hey Greg, so I just wanted to get a word with the pole sitter for next week. Obviously fastest in qualifying here tonight. Race didn't work out in your favor, but starting up front is a good place to be next week.
Yeah. I was able to get a practice green flag pit stop in since I was so far back, so yeah, it worked out in a way.
All right, well, obviously starting on the pole will put you in a good spot to start, and good luck next week in the 500.
Thank you.
All right, that was next week's pole sitter. That will be Greg Robinson going from the pole. Outside him will be Dave Lurfano. Then we'll build the field based off the results here tonight. Chris Essery, Josh Hetricks will be in row 2. Dave Hara, Mike Kurdzlek, row 3. Horlander and Tyrone Yo in row 4. Uberpacker Rodriguez will make up row 5. Curtis Sauber and Greg and Michael Boisvert, will make up the next row. And Johnny May will go from position 13 next week at Daytona. So that's it for tonight's broadcast. So happy you could tune in. Make sure you tune back in next Thursday night, roughly. I think we might be on the air a little earlier next week. 8 o'clock is the goal to be on the air. So hopefully you can join us for next week's 500-mile event. The second annual All-American Racing League Daytona 500 will go green from the 2.5-mile super speedway next Thursday. Hopefully you can join us on the air. I will be back with the call of that one. For now, we'll talk to you next week. And don't forget, this coming Sunday, tune back into the SimWorld Racing Network as the All-American Racing League Truck Series goes green for the first time. From the high banks of Daytona, we will bring you that broadcast. Super Trooper Dave and Super Trooper Dave will be on the call for the Truck Series for the 2025 season. So tune in this Sunday for that. And for me, we'll talk to you again next Thursday evening for the 500. Thanks for joining us and have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Thursday.